Sound check done. Let's begin. Breaking news. The guest is you. Streaming live for you to view. Open House the podcast. Open House the podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Open House, the podcast. I am Johnny Awesome, as always, joined by my amazing co-host, who, by the way, just got her diamond gun. Summer Kills, everybody. Give it up for Summer Kills.
Hello, everybody. I did. I got my diamond gun.
Most people are like, what is this podcast about?
Other people will know what I'm talking about.
Oh, man, and we are very blessed and happy to have our first guest. And actually, this is congratulations to you. And welcome. I
appreciate that.
I think you do know this, but maybe not. This happens to be our inaugural first episode 1 live. We're here in our podcast studio in Troy. Thank you so much, Jason Courtney, for being our first guest.
Absolutely honored to be here.
Now, we have a bit that we want to do on the podcast where we let AI write your intro, but I didn't get your intro.
I know, right? Talk about a failure there on my side.
That's all right.
okay.
Actually,
But
that's one of the things we'll be
I
talking
can
about.
create an intro, Jason Courtney with the salon quality hair.
Yeah.
We're sitting here with Johnny Awesome. It is Jason Incredible.
So, Summer, were you there the first time? Who was all there the first time I ever met you?
I think we honestly met at Epic. And that's where I think we first met. And then I did see you again in Rochester. I've seen you in some places before, but honestly, you're very infectious. The minute I met you, I knew I had to get to know you.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. It's you weren't there.
So you met at the Epic office in
Yeah.
Lake Orion?
Yeah.
Cool,
Yep.
cool. He does. He has that personality. Like, you meet him and you're like, whoa, this guy's awesome.
Well, this
like,
is why
quite literally.
This is why I'm super excited for the show, because when I met you, we started talking. So, Jason, not aside from having, being part of Title Partners, is involved in all these other, you're involved in a lot of things.
Yeah, I don't like to sleep, so it's that's the thing right now. So
How do you?
you know what? It's pretty easy. It's high blood pressure.
Okay.
You eat a lot of fatty foods.
Oh, shit. Got it. I'm on my way to being you.
There you go. I love it, man.
Well, how are you staying so? Actually, we're going to end up probably talking about this. One of the companies that you have, because for eating a lot of high fatty foods, you sure are fit.
Well, I don't know about that, but I appreciate it. So yeah, I do. I'm partnered with a company called Elevate, and it's basically a regenerative preventative medicine. So I don't know if since COVID, right? A lot of people have lost a little bit of trust in the medical field.
Yeah.
And so there's more and more people. There's a place and time for both Eastern and Western medicine, right? You break your leg, you go to the hospital. There's no question about it. But now there's a lot of other things that we can do. High-dose vitamin C's, different things, IVs. There's hormone therapy, stuff like that can actually help increase, without having to, when you go to the hospital, they're there to not prevent. They're there to just, fix you.
Yeah,
just
fix the
temporarily.
problem, yeah.
Yep, but they don't really get to the underlying issue, like what is causing this. So that's what we do.
That's
Yeah.
really cool.
Now, what exactly, when I hear, and hello, everybody, by the way, that's joining us, we've got 4 more people than what Summer thought was going to happen for our first episode. Just to let you know, this is a live episode. We are here live. We are also monitoring comments. If you want to comment in, say hello to us, or ask
talk
any
to
questions,
us.
or just chat. It is absolutely free. And Open House as well. We'll be announcing the address next week. You can just show up, which is one of the things that I think is really cool. Just
Like
walk through the door.
a real open house.
Like an actual open house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
that fun?
Well, that's what you did.
I know. I
But
just
you were
I
invited
showed
to
up,
just walk
right?
through. Yeah. So be
no
prepared.
invite at all, guys.
Be
just so
prepared.
you know.
Somebody might walk through that door, and then you've got somebody just sitting next to you. So be prepared for that.
There you go. Yep. Hey, I'm just so you know, I'm a power top, not a bottom. So they'll have to.
Noted.
Noted.
Also, that's what I say when it comes to bunk beds. I'm going to be on top, just to let you know.
There's so much room for activities.
Look at that. Hey, Charlie. Good morning to you. Thank you for tuning
Hello,
in.
Charlie.
So we have regenerative health. I'm going to be honest with you. The first time that I heard that, what do you think of when you hear regenerative health?
So when that's what I was sitting here thinking regenerative health.
Yeah.
It sounds like intriguing. Like it sounds like how you were explaining, like bettering yourself and like regenerative, right? What does it mean?
Well, have you ever seen Terminator? I know we have, right?
Yeah,
there
I've
you
seen
go.
it. I can't really like quote the movie or nothing.
Wow.
There you go.
Whole movie quoted in one.
Well, you
Give me the
can't.
chop up, right? That's not the right movie.
Oh, that's
In
awesome.
the second movie is when that cop was getting like shot up and then his body just kind of formed back together. It's every
Yeah.
time
Yeah,
you
it
say
makes you
regenerative
think like
health.
something new or like something you see in movies, you know?
Yeah. So what's really unique is that if you do some research and studying, if you look at the foods that we eat and all the
Yeah.
chemicals that we're putting in our body, the forever chemicals, all these things that we're doing that has long-term effects with everybody here. Yep, exactly. They're the monster that you're drinking right
Yeah,
now.
I just drink an
Wait,
espresso.
don't say the name. It's that we're not sponsored by
okay,
them.
Yeah, we're
so
not
yes.
sponsored. There we go.
That energy drink.
This energy drink.
Yeah, so there's a lot of things now that people are starting to realize that we can do. So preventively, like we can prevent eating these chemicals. We can prevent these things. We can do 10-pass ozones, which, we spin your blood in vats and actually it kills all the bacteria. There's ways to bloodlet. There's ways to, do vitamin therapy. We do hormone therapy where 10 years ago, people thought if they heard testosterone, they're like, oh my God, it's a steroid, right?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
a lot of times it was abused by bodybuilders.
Yeah.
But now it's looked at more as a hormone. Our body needs it, and when our body's not producing enough, testosterone, estrogen, progesterone, all that stuff, there's huge consequences. And from weight loss to all kinds of different inactions with your body.
Yeah.
It is imperative that people stay on top of that stuff. So, and we've got thousands of people now that have come to us that literally their life has changed.
Wow.
Now-
That is so cool.
How did you get involved in this?
So I was on hormone therapy. I actually had low testosterone in my 40s.
Okay.
What's really crazy is I went to a big meeting. I'm talking in front of 30 or 40 people, and I thought I was having a heart attack. Like someone's like, "Hey, are you okay?" I'm like, I don't know. My chest, my fingers are hurting, everything. So I got rushed to the hospital.
Yeah.
I get there and they're like, "Hey, I'm like, I'm dying," and they're like, "Okay, sit down. We're gonna figure this out." And
Yeah.
literally, like 5 minutes later, they took some blood work. They said, "No, you're not having a heart attack. You're having a panic attack."
Oh.
And I'm like, "Yeah, no, that's not true.
Wow.
I don't have panic attacks."
Yeah.
And they're like, "No, you're having take this pill." And like 20 minutes later is a Valium. I'm like, "Oh, I feel fine." Like, but it was impending doom. I was dying in my head.
Yeah.
So subsequently, after that, I started, first of all, Googling because I thought for sure brain tumor, cancer, whatever, right? Because you
Okay,
go down
yeah.
that rabbit hole, it's scary.
Yeah, Google.
So I tell anybody that's listening, if you have any ailment at all, don't go to Dr. Google.
You don't have
Do
to now.
not.
You get to go to Dr. Chat GPT.
Yep, there you go.
Right,
Yep, you got a
right.
headache and diarrhea. Yep, you've got 6 days to live.
Exactly. You jump off and you're like, this is the end. This is it.
So my doctor just decided to put me on some SSRI. And then I couldn't sleep. He put me on a pill, Ambien. Then before you know it, I'm taking 5 or 6 pills, but they never tried to figure out what the hell was wrong.
Yeah.
So finally someone told me, they said, "Hey, have you had your hormones checked?" I said, "I don't even know what that means." So yeah, no. He goes, "Do me a favor. I'm gonna give you this doctor's name. Go check, get your hormone." So I did. I got my blood work in. Like 5 days later, my blood work comes back, and the guy goes, "Yeah." He goes, "2 things. One is your testosterone's 180." He goes, "You got the testosterone of a 7-year-old woman." I said, "Fantastic."
Wow.
I said, "Well," yeah, I know. I said, "Well, that explains why I like watching Folgers commercials and doing shopping with my wife."
Everything makes sense.
That's why I'm addicted to Lifetime.
Yep, exactly. It's all coming together. So, and then he says, because of that, your cortisol levels are through the roof. He says it's some of the highest I've ever seen. That's your
Yeah.
flight or fight, your stress hormone. So he goes, we're gonna put you on to some testosterone. We're gonna monitor some stuff for a little while.
Yeah.
And I got to tell you, within 4 weeks, I went back to me. Like I didn't have any more panic attacks. I wasn't having all these issues, and I was able to get off all these medicines that the doctor put me on, that he said I might be on for the rest of my life. So,
Wow.
and when I mentioned to him about the hormones, he looked at me like I was crazy. So my general practitioner. So when I went to the other doctor,
Yeah.
it was night and day. So I was like, and to shorten this up just a little bit, the guy that I went to for years retired. So I'm like, man, I got to figure out a way because some of the other doctors still don't buy into this yet.
Yeah.
So he said, why don't we start our own?
Wow.
So
That's how
through-
great things are born.
You're right. Through the the product of necessity.
Yeah.
We started the business.
Now, how many, and I should have asked this in the beginning, and I apologize. This goes on now, I think, 3 shows that I've been in where I forget to ask this. Is there anything that we can't talk about?
No.
Just announce it live on the air, what you don't want. Okay, cool. So, how many businesses are you a part of right now? Like, how many different businesses are you touching?
So 4, truly. So
Okay.
I've got part of Transcend, I have a small part in. Amazing company, great group. Ernie Cowling, who runs it, is absolutely a genius. I have a part of Elevate, which is the regenerative side. We have the brick and mortar side. Title Partners, which is kind of my bread and butter. That's my kind of 9 to 5 job. And then I took on, because I didn't, I still had an extra hour a day in my life. So I went and decided I'm going to buy homes and flip them.
Okay.
So if anyone's looking to partner up with another business, call me.
He's got plenty.
He's got that one extra
So
hour.
the rejuvenate, that's so cool because I feel like so many people are like in today's day and age in their like fitness journey or like better me journey, and like self-care is such a huge thing.
You have no idea. It's growing so exponentially.
I know. I do my. I have a morning routine, a nighttime routine, and like
Summer bought a subscription to a gym where she gets to ride a bike and watch movies.
I did.
I thought that
I
like
did.
I just got to throw which
it's
is
the
great.
coolest thing ever.
What a
but I
great
am.
idea.
I'm in my like fitness era of my life right now.
Yeah.
So, and I feel like it's just a huge trend anyway. So it's awesome.
So it's unique. There is a meme that came through, or like a video, right, on some platform, and it showed people shopping for Christmas in like the 1980s.
Yeah.
And it said, "What do you see?" And first thing I'm trying to. I thought maybe it was a trick question, so I'm really looking around and trying to figure stuff out. And then I started reading the captions underneath, and everyone was in pretty decent shape. And then they just did something like a Walmart or a store, and what do you see now? And it was crazy. Like how did we get here?
Yeah.
Like the fast foods, the chemicals, the hormones in our foods, the different things that they do there.
Yeah.
Like it's just it's on an epic proportion now. It truly is. And I do believe, and I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I do believe that there's so much money in treating you that they don't necessarily want to cure you.
Yeah.
It's billions and billions of dollars. So we're having that issue right now in our side because we've got peptides right now, which is basically 191 amino acid chains that they break the chains in certain areas to create different results in the body. Because it's working so well, Big Pharma is trying to fight it and shut it down.
Huh.
Because it's starting to take millions and hundreds of millions of dollars out of their, because people are saying, hey, I feel amazing on this stuff. I don't need to go to the hospital. I don't need to go to the doctor for these things. It's lowering my A1C. It's helping me lose weight. It's helping me do these things.
It's preventative.
Yep.
I don't know if you've ever read this before. We have a comment in here. It says, "Metabolic is a great book. Read it." Have you ever read that book?
I haven't, but I would love to.
Let us know what about that book is great. And for everybody else that's watching too, feel free. We're here. We'll show your comment. We're chatting with you. So feel free to chat in. What do you like about that book? Let us know. I'd be interested in knowing. Let me ask you this. You said you're not a conspiracy theorist. Do you have a conspiracy theory about, and like, do you have one little thing that you kind of hold on to? Like, do you think aliens are real or that?
Oh, for sure they're real.
Okay. He's like, that's not a conspiracy at all.
Yeah, it's not a
Hello.
conspiracy. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
That's common knowledge.
So,
Are
no,
you kidding?
guys, I'm gonna say this live on the
All right, go
so
for
this
it.
is crazy.
Okay,
so
this is what we're here
10
for.
o'clock at night, and I'm not this guy.
Okay.
My grandfather was a big scientist, ran Dow up in Midland. Everything has an explanation.
Yeah.
I'm sitting 10:15 on October in my jacuzzi outside, and my son jumps in, and we're sitting there talking.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, and I'm going to guess about 10 to 15,000 feet above us, is this cylinder object. And it's about, I would say, about 2 football fields long.
Yeah.
No propulsion, and it's just hovering. And I'm like, what the hell is this?
Yeah.
And this was last October, and a lot of people in Lake Orion and Clarkston all posted about it.
Huh.
So I kind of like, not freak out, but I'm like a little concerned. I'm like, this is crazy. So my son runs in and gets my wife, his mom, my wife. We only play that on Thursday nights. But So
Family twister. Get mom.
so she comes out and she's like, "What are we looking at?" And I'm like, "I don't know." So I took a picture of it and I'll show you guys after the podcast.
Yeah.
It is insane, and literally within 30 seconds of us watching this, it literally disappears. It's gone. It's a starry night. There's nothing. It is gone.
They just put a documentary on Netflix about aliens.
Yeah.
And I put it on for like a background noise type thing. Next thing I knew, I was fully invested in this documentary. But yeah, people say that. It's interesting.
Yeah, I would never even believe it, but
Yeah,
it's
there's
impossible to.
stories.
And I'm sure it's probably something that our government has, or something.
Yeah.
Or China is probably flying over us.
They were saying they hide in the ocean.
The government or
The
China?
The aliens.
Oh, the aliens.
China.
China. The whole country decided
China
to
put
hide
the
in that.
aliens in the ocean.
What I would want to know is like, what is it about you that made, whether it's the government, aliens, or China, decide, hey, we got to check in on this guy. Come watch this guy in the hot tub.
Yeah, no kidding, right?
Yeah,
it was a good
seriously.
day. The temperature was warm. I mean, everything was working for me.
You must
crazy.
be onto something real good.
Crazy. Hey, good morning. Hey, there's a face that I haven't seen in a long time. Hello, Mindy. It's good to hear from you again. And good morning. Mindy's coming in from Indiana today.
Oh, wow.
She's watching
Nice.
us from out there, so hopefully enjoying the 10 p.m. I used to run another show. It was super early, so I like, or 10 p.m., 10 a.m.
10 a.m.
It does feel like 10 p.m., but it's...
Well, enough of those drinks.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll be there. It's
So
like time travel.
Let me ask you a question, because this is interesting. Because one of the other things that we see today, and this is just, I guess, my personal thing, is we're seeing a lot of the caffeine addictions and addictions to
Biggest addiction on the planet.
Caffeine,
Oh, there's no question about
or
it.
is it sugar?
Well, I will go.
That's a good question.
So
Is it both together?
I would say they go hand in hand.
Makes
Yeah.
sense, yeah.
They really do.
Yeah.
It is unbelievable, the caffeine addictions. And what's worse is it's one of the worst ones to get off of. So if you've ever gone up north and
Yeah.
forgot to take your drinks or buy your drinks, I mean, you'll have 2 or 3 or 4 days of massive headaches.
Yep.
Just
Yeah.
lethargy, different things. It's a lot, and it takes truly about
Do
2
you
weeks to
drink,
finally get out.
Do you drink caffeine?
Yeah, I've actually doubled up here. I got coffee with espresso,
I'm
and
like, wait, you do have a
I
cup of
take
coffee.
energy drink inside, so it's like a trifecta.
Yeah.
See,
If
no
you do
one's
it-
perfect.
So I'm 2 hours ahead of everybody.
Yeah.
So I'm already, I'm that far ahead because
He
I'm
zoomed forward
zooming,
off the
with all my
caffeine.
stuff. So.
All
Yeah,
right.
I love it. I
Yep,
love it.
I hear you. I just
But-
want to let you know, in an hour and 30 minutes, you're going to want to take a bathroom break.
Well, we'll have to anyway because we gotta go at some point in time.
Yeah.
When it comes to your metabolic health and regenerating yourself and stuff like that,
It's so cool.
does that is the capability to get people off of like energy like is that a thing too, or is that
So we have something that's incredible. It's called NAD, and basically on a cellular level, right, on your polymer, your cells, it is one of the most amazing things they're studying right now. There's a precursor called NMN, which you can take orally. I got to be honest, I don't know how the body converts that. They say it does. There's a lot of research. There's still some, it's kind of ambiguous. But you can do NAD injections and drips, and it is on a level that I've never seen energy-wise. It actually helps me get off of all my caffeine.
Is it like a natural energy?
So your body has a natural NAD in
Yeah.
it. So as you get older, you have less and less. And
Oh.
what it is it's the only thing. They found 2 things in life that actually lengthen life.
okay? Interesting.
Which
Yeah, I
is, so
need
you
to
have a
know.
telomere, the length of your cell. Every time it dies and it recreates, right, it shortens. So that's kind of like your length of life.
Okay.
There's 2 things they found. One is the use of NAD. The other is, which is really unique, and it's free. Anyone can do it. It's called gratitude, living with gratitude.
Wow.
They have
my
studied
God,
this
I love it.
Interesting.
over and over and over
Wow.
again. There's a big study in Harvard. As a matter of fact, if you want, we can put some of the information up if people want to see it
Yeah,
on
I'll
the
pull it
site
up right now.
afterwards. But living with gratitude actually extends life because
Makes sense.
exactly.
It really does.
It's just amazing though how the mind, how powerful it is, and that your energy, how you dictate
And like you
your
are
feelings.
fully in control.
Yep, you're absolutely
Yeah,
right.
You are.
It's
Yeah.
it's very similar to like when you tell somebody like, hey, take this pill, it's going to make you feel better. It's a sugar pill. They take it.
It's like it's a
It's
placebo,
right?
Yeah.
But living with gratitude, people tend to live longer.
Yeah, humble, gracious. Wow.
Hey, a shout out, by the way, Smart logging in and commenting as Snap Holmes has commented in. which I'm assuming is Keith.
We love snap homes.
Yes, and he's asking, what does NAD stand for? I'm going to take a guess. I'm going to take a guess that stands for natural Adderall, dude. That was my thought.
No, I you know what? That's exactly right. It is natural Adderall.
That was it. It's natural Adderall, dude. That's what NAD stands for.
Like
Medical
that.
terms. I know some things.
Yeah, there you go. So, speaking of Adderall,
I can't even.
if you crush it up and snort it, it gets in the bloodstream faster.
Oh,
That's
there you go.
just an FYI for anyone out there that maybe want to get there quicker.
What about your NADs?
So yeah, your
about those
NADs,
people?
exactly. So that is an IM, an intramuscular shot, or an IV only. You can't do it. If anybody says that you can, and they do, they sell it in a pill orally.
Yeah.
There's still a lot of study to see how the body, breaks it down and assimilates it through an oral pill.
Okay.
So I would say the best way to do it still is IM or doing it through an infusion. Look, there's studies on both sides for the pills.
Yeah.
So I'm not poo-pooing it. I'm not saying it's absolutely
Poo-pooing
wrong,
it.
but it's all I'm saying is that there's not enough evidence yet that the body absorbs enough to actually make a benefit for you.
Got it.
So what does it stand for?
You know what? I'm going to pull it up because it's a
think
huge
I'm gonna-
medical word that.
Yeah, I'm guessing it's some like hard word, but I'm gonna guess the first word isn't natural, but I'm gonna say neurology.
Nootropical? Is it nootropical?
Neurological.
Nope, it's okay. So it is going to be a nicotinamide adenine dinaclutide.
Wow, that's
That's
a really
like
cool
every
word.
language in one word.
That was awesome.
So you're exactly right. Actually, I think it's you're right. It derives
Wow.
from South Africa.
Okay.
So
Got it. Yeah. Interesting.
You said it good too.
there we go.
Good pronunciation.
It's the but it's so NAD is incredible. So you can
Yeah.
look it up. It's all over the internet. Just the benefits of
It's
it long
super
term.
intriguing to hear about and learn about.
I gotta catch up on some of these comments, guys. Thank you so much. Oh, good morning, Sandra. Thank you for shooting
Sandra.
in.
Hey, Sandra.
Absolutely love it. Charlie is grateful for her dirty dishes, dirty house, and laundry, etc.
Yes, Charlie.
The thing that's interesting about that is you can have gratitude for the. You know what I mean? Like, life is an interesting thing.
Yes.
And it's true. You go home sometimes and you're like, man, I've got a load of this and this and this to do. You can focus on that and how you didn't accomplish it, and then sit down and then start to wear that. I should have accomplished more.
Yeah.
But you can also be grateful for a day that allowed you not to have to do that.
Yeah.
Like, what
Or
were
maybe
you
even
able to do?
just another day that you got to be alive and
Yeah.
See-
open your eyes in the morning, put your feet on the ground.
That's exactly right. So few people live in the moment.
Yeah.
Everybody's
Yeah.
thinking. I mean, you could be sitting outside looking at the trees or something beautiful, and your mind is still thinking about other things. You're not in the moment. Something that I learned in a really valuable lesson in life. I'm going to share it with you guys. I happen to be very blessed that I know people from all walks of life.
Yeah.
Millionaires, billionaires, homeless, all kinds of people, right?
Yeah.
And I can tell you, I know a lot of people with money that are miserable.
Yep.
It is something that is, I want to write a book about it one day because I've got some unique information and stuff, but there's something that I have that a lot of these people that have billions of dollars will never have. Everyone's kind of like, well, what could you possibly have that they don't? Well, I have enough.
Wow.
I have enough in my life. I don't need anymore. I've got a family. I've got health. I've got beautiful children.
Wow.
I've got friends. I've got people around me, relationships.
Yeah.
I have enough. So it allows me to live in the moment. It allows me to be happy. It allows me to, and a lot of times, unfortunately, I think through life, we start to realize that too late. And it's kind of like at the end of life, you're like, oh God, I might have missed something.
Yeah, because are people like always trying to search for more? Maybe they don't think it's enough, and
Yeah.
that could be a downfall as well. That's really cool. And honestly, just listening to you sit here and talk, I fully believe you. I like
Thank you.
just the energy you radiate. It's amazing. It's
It
awesome.
is good energy. Yeah.
It is.
Like you
I-
can tell those people that either
yeah.
uplift or they're always.
Yeah. I feel like you're not just talking, like you're actually living it, which is
Oh,
awesome. Because
I
people
appreciate
say
that.
people talk about like stuff like this all the time, but like to actually do it,
Yeah.
it's cool.
What do you have? Do you do a gratitude journal?
So I don't, and,
Okay.
and I think it's a great idea.
Yeah.
I really do. I think if I got rid of one of my jobs, I probably would be
This
pretty
goes
good at
back
that.
to no
Yeah.
time in
So
the day.
you and I have a trait that is we both are very ADD.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah,
what
that's what I was
allows
gonna
me
ask, yeah.
to have 4 jobs. Because
Yeah.
if I was hyper focused on one thing or
Yeah.
OCD, There's no way I could do that.
Yeah.
If you look at most CEOs or very, successful people at that level, they're very ADD.
Yeah.
Because they have to. You have to juggle 5, 6, 8, 10 different things and be good at it, right?
Yep.
I've got friends that are engineers that if you give them a task, it's like Pavlov. They're going to sink their teeth in it. They're not going to let it go till it's done.
Yeah.
They would not be good at that position because they would only hold on to that one task,
You
right?
gotta have like a little handle on each task.
Yeah, so
and that's the ADD. Where you're like, ooh.
Yeah, like I tell my wife, it's you need a yin and yang. She's
You
the
do.
OCD, I'm the ADD.
I love that. Yeah, that's perfect. You guys fit each other perfectly.
So let me ask you this: let's get to know a little bit about you and your background. Like when you were a little kid,
Yep.
you had ADD, which is interesting because in your generation, ADD didn't really exist.
Undiagnosed, yeah.
Everybody just thought that you were probably crazy, right?
Or just a
off
boy.
the wall,
I'm just an 11, 12, 13-year-old boy.
crazy
boy,
It's just,
yeah.
just a kid, right?
Yeah.
Nobody at that time, there were always that one overactive kid in class that always kind of act up or talk or got
Yeah.
in detention. But
Did you get detention a lot?
you know what? I was a pretty good kid, but
Yeah.
I think a few times, yeah.
Do you remember what you got in detention for? Did you ever do anything like
Flatulence.
crazy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Were you
so
the-
back then
you
it
were
was
the Pumbaa?
Sloppy Joe Tuesdays. It wasn't Taco Tuesdays. So Wednesdays were tough in class.
Wow.
They gave you detention for that?
Well, if you did it on purpose to make the class laugh,
I got you.
then it was
okay.
I was a multiple offender.
You're a jokester.
I got you.
Sorry, guys, that's so ridiculous. I don't even know why we're going there. That is. Let's get to know you.
Well, yeah.
All right, guys, enough about me.
Let's get to know you. Well, in third grade, I was almost kicked out of school because.
I'm sorry, guys. Talk about a segue. Wow.
So how did you go from like that? Like when did you? Do you consider yourself successful?
Oh God, I would say in 1,000 lifetimes I could never have this life again. First of all,
Wow.
I have my best friend that I married for 23 years. She could do far better than me. So like every night I come home, sit in the shadows till she has a few drinks, and then once she's right there, then I come out. That's when I'm pretty good looking, right? So, but no, I just my health and happiness is that's where the wealth is. So there's a book. It's called The Triangle by John Wooden. I happened to live close to John Wooden when I grew up. My dad's good friends with his son, Richard. He had an amazing statement, and I live by this a lot, too, because it's not about your wealth. Or wealth isn't really described as far as money. It's more, there's a triangle book that he wrote, and it's your health, your happiness, your family. And if you might be really, really big in one but failing in the other two,
Yeah.
he would say it's a failure in life.
Mm-hmm.
So what's really unique, though, is they just won the national championship. If you know John Wooden, he's one of the winningest basketball coaches at UCLA or anywhere in NCAA.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
And they had Lou Alcindor, they had all these players, and they're sitting there talking to him and said, hey, is this the greatest group of guys you've ever coached? And he had these big, thick glasses, and he took them down, and he looked at the guy seriously, and he goes, how the hell would I know that? He goes, ask me in 20 years when I find out what kind of men they become.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was incredible.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, that held some weight.
Yeah.
And it's just that's exactly where I put myself as far as is successful. I've been married to the same woman for 23 years.
Yeah.
My favorite thing to do is be with my kids.
Yeah.
I'm healthy. So that is my driver for success.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So money is paper. I can make it, lose it. I can make it back again. It doesn't mean that I'm any. I know guys that have had billions that have lost it all. I know
Yeah.
guys that make 30 grand and 40 grand a year. They're the happiest people on the earth. So it's a relative term, financially.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing about success. Most people, when you ask them about success, they instantly go to a
Finances.
money. Yeah.
Yep.
And success can be different for every single person. It's one of the things I try to teach realtors. And when you were at the thing that I did, and I told people, like, what is it that you want? Not
Yeah.
what is it that everybody else says you need to have in order to be successful.
Yep. Well, this is our time right now, guys. So we're here on the planet together. We're sharing an experience together.
Yeah.
So relationships is the biggest currency in life. It truly is. Friendships, love,
Yeah.
relationships, and stuff
And
like that.
you know what? I'm learning that. Like, I'm learning these things, like just growing and getting older in life and learning new things, meeting new people. But like, I really am learning these things. It's really true.
Yeah.
And you really want to just surround with like people like me surrounding myself with Johnny. The past, you know, we've just been hanging out all the time, but he's the best. And I've told everyone watching knows like how great of an influence I feel like he is on me, and it's awesome.
Yeah, so Johnny, honestly, like I've told you before, I've been around just because my industries, my travel, things like that. I've been able to meet a lot of people. Very few people in my life I've ever met with your enthusiasm, kindness,
Oh my gosh.
generosity,
Everything.
and you're authentic, and that is unique because I don't get to see that very often.
Well,
anymore.
shucks, guys. This is the whole reason I created this show.
He's like, I
everybody
wanted
just
you to
comes
tell me
in
how
and
great-
said, no, I appreciate that. You know, and I think it's interesting because positivity, it breeds positivity. And what ends up happening is it's like magnets. When you find that other person or people,
Yeah.
like we're instantly like, I mean, the first time I ever met you, fun story. First time I ever met you, do you remember what I said to you?
Was it my hair?
I said, I feel like birds should be flying out of your jacket because you look like a magician.
Oh, that's right.
And some people don't know how to take this. I've never met him before.
Yeah.
Some people, I'm like, you know, I accidentally offend people, and because my
You
filter's
think outside
broke.
of the box.
Yeah, what's that magician's name? The one that made the
David Blaine,
yeah no the
Chris
guy-
Angel.
No, those are great guys. Those are all. I would love to be
Oh.
compared to them, but no, the guy that made the Statue
Statue of Liberty disappear.
Yeah,
Oh.
I think
David
that's-
Copperfield.
I think that's kind of who
Yeah, yeah.
resorted to. I was like, hey, I can be David Copperfield.
Yeah,
right?
it was
You're like,
it
wait,
was-
that's cool. I'll take that.
It was funny because I'm thinking, I'm hoping he doesn't get offended. He goes, "That's the coolest thing I ever heard," and then he just levitated. He's like, "I've been waiting
What were
for
you
this."
thinking in that moment in your head?
Just you know what? First of all, this is the first time I ever heard that, so I was like, that's pretty cool.
Doesn't he look right in the camera, guys? Doesn't he kind of look like him? Like he should be.
Hold
Like
on,
he's always wearing
I'm
these
gonna
suit
pull
jackets.
on something out of here.
Doesn't he look like he should just be out? Like here's
You have a
pick
cool
card.
style, that's for sure.
Yeah,
You
Yeah.
do. It's
Yeah,
awesome.
you go.
It's definitely your style too.
It is.
Like,
I gotta be me, right?
Yeah.
I love it.
yeah.
Yeah.
What was? Did you ever like? Did you ever have a like? Do you do style with the year? Have you always just kind of had your own thing going? And
No, I haven't changed in 54 years.
Oh, you
So
don't
you
I
change
came
always
out of
your
the womb
style?
like this with the jacket.
Yeah?
It was crazy. Yeah, they're like.
how that jacket? Got
That
up
it was
there, I don't
unbelievable. Yeah,
know.
it was a Garanimals jacket at the time. Actually, I modeled them up till I was about 30 because I'm not real
Yeah,
big,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
So, after 31, they said you're getting, some facial hair. We're gonna have to get you out of the Garanimals. I was in the Husky 3T collection.
How that do you? All right. I love the fact. You know what's great? One of the things I think some people have lost the ability to do too, and you've done really well, is we've lost the ability to just kind of laugh with ourselves. You know what I mean?
That's all. Dude, I have my kids, my wife. I mean, it is crazy. Like I'll have my wife have a snot bubble. She'll be laughing so hard, and it's usually at the cost of me because I'm doing something silly, goofy,
Yeah.
or just just out of there. So
Yeah.
I truly believe, in all honesty, and I'm being honest when I tell you, my wife could do so much better than me. So I think the reason we work so well is because truly that sense of humor. I love life with her. I enjoy my time with her.
It's your best friend.
Yep, exactly. That ability to make them laugh, right?
Yeah.
To have humor and to laugh at yourself.
Yep.
People have lost that. I don't know what's going on with this energy in this world and this dissension and all these people
Wow,
fighting.
yeah. You're right.
It's social media has created
It is
something
social
horrible. As much as it's done good,
Yeah.
it's done a lot of bad too because people get fed a narrative, and unfortunately, if you hear it over and over again, you believe it to be true.
Yep.
And one thing I'll always do though is I don't see things maybe that you see, but it's okay. It's okay to have difference of opinion, see things differently. That's usually where good conversation come in, and usually we can talk about things and work out something. But we've lost that ability now to have any kind of conduct or correspondence with each other, because the first thing we go to is you're wrong, or I hate you, or it's just wow.
Yeah.
yeah, you like have to be right about everything.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
There are some people, there's some people who are still like that. And I truly hope, and I feel like I know one day, everybody's going to have their moment where they kind of just blink and that little light bulb goes off and they're like, I don't think I want to live like this anymore.
Yeah.
It's a little bit miserable, maybe.
yeah, I pray you're right. I really do. So.
I really think I am. I really do. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Well, I think you can bet on it now on that website where you can bet presidential election results and all that stuff.
Isn't that
Have you seen
crazy?
this?
Crazy.
You can bet anything now.
Right now, they're betting who Trump's going to elect into what positions is a big betting pool, which is crazy.
I
Yeah.
know.
So there's an over/under on how many sips you're going to do on your energy
Oh,
drink.
could you
so just
believe it?
I'm on the over, so
Oh, yeah.
I need you to keep drinking.
You know what's really funny? Since you've been here, I'll just admit this. Since you've been here, I've become extremely self-conscious about drinking my energy drink.
Stop it.
I've actually kind of stopped drinking it. I'm going to start reaching for this water. That's the Slight Edge. Have you ever heard the Slight Edge?
You know, I have not.
So the Slight Edge actually uses this as a principle, and I love this. And this Slight Edge is my #1 most recommended book to anybody. And the whole thing can be summed up in this saying that every decision you make is either going to take you closer to or further from your dreams and your goals.
Wow.
And he uses the example, if you have a can of pop or a glass of water in front of you, both are just as easy to grab. And that's why most people will grab the pop.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Yeah, exactly. I love it. Actually, Slight Edge. I'm on it. That's
Yeah,
I'm
incredible.
proud
Slight
of you,
Edge, great
Johnny.
book.
I'm really proud of you because I would have just. I'll
There you
try.
go.
I'll try
I
again
don't want to
tomorrow.
have to. I just don't want to have to refill, like drain my blood to re-put it back in. How does that? You ever? Oh, I got so many different ways I want to go. I'm going to go this way first because we're on it, and I segued out of it. We were talking about being able to have two people just kind of sit down and have disagreements. How many different businesses? Because I'm sure with your personality type, you have 4 you're running right now, but you have to have been involved in a bunch of different things at one point in time,
Conflicts.
right?
Yeah.
Like how many different businesses and stuff like that do you think you've
So,
been involved in? Total?
I've owned hair salons. Go figure.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Were you doing it or you
No.
just-
No. I was just an investor.
Okay.
So we built it out. I did it with a gentleman named Ben Bellamo. Really, really good guy. He had owned a couple salons before. We called it 5 Points, and only because he had it before. We had one in Oakland Township. We had one by Oakland University.
Yeah.
It was fun. It really was. But I got to tell you, that's a tough thing to get into. That's a tough industry.
Yeah.
I've owned. So the big thing that started me into entrepreneurship is when I got through school, I met a young lady that brought me to Detroit, which I'm not with anymore. But we went out one night, and there was another couple there, and he had a Corvette, driving, had all this money, everything. He had a valet company. So by the end of the night, the guy didn't care for me too much. I don't know why. He'd take shots at me all night. But he's like, hey, just because you went to school doesn't mean you'd be able to run a business. So I bet him $20 that I could start a valet company.
Okay.
And about a month later, I'm here, and I'm here for a week. And I said, I'm gonna do it. Just what the hell? So I went down to the county building in Mount Clemens, and I said, hey, I wanna do a name, register it and everything. And she goes, well, what is it? I go, I don't know. What should we do?
That's
So
hilarious.
the lady's looking at me. We're talking, and,
Yeah.
and we came up with Perfect Valet.
Okay.
Wow.
So I started. I started going into some restaurants and stuff. Said, hey, I see you had valet there. I said, yeah, are you happy? And one guy said, yeah. He goes, we'd love to, do valet. What's your experience? I said, well, I just backed my car in. I figured I could do it for someone else, right? And they looked at me like, no, you have to have garage keeper liability. You have to have all these things. You got to do that. So what I did
you're
is
like,
I went
oh,
out,
okay.
and this is bad, but it's the truth. I'll be honest with you guys. I went out and built my own letters of recommendation.
Yeah.
I did restaurants out in the outskirts and wrote, hey, these guys are fantastic, and did all this stuff. And I built my little portfolio. Back then,
Yeah.
it was all typed, on a bubble jet printer and everything.
Yeah.
And I went in there, and I figured either one, they're going to know that I'm a phony, or they're going to give me a chance.
Yeah.
So believe it or not, I got my first opportunity, and it was Barrister House and Barrister Gardens in the East Side, and incredible ownership. And I had some kids that I knew, and the young lady I was dating, her brothers, and we put it together overnight. And within 6 months, coming home on the weekends, I had 11 restaurants, some gentlemen's clubs, a bunch of other stuff, and was probably bringing in about 15, 20 grand a week.
Wow.
So I won my $20.
That's
Did you actually go
cool.
and claim it?
But no, he didn't, but in my mind I did.
You
He
were
never
like,
gave it
I
to
held
me.
on to that, and I remembered, and
Yeah,
I
exactly.
succeeded. He might not remember or know. That doesn't matter.
Did you hire the lady at the at the desk?
Yeah, no, I should have though. She was
Yeah,
incredible. She
yeah.
was
Should've.
awesome. Yeah. So
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
What was the biggest failure that you ever entered into?
So I started a company, Regenerative Side, and I'm not going to mention the name, and put a lot of money up, and it was unfortunately with the wrong people.
Yeah. Okay.
And very toxic, very things. Now everyone is. I have no regrets, and I think we're all on a good page now.
Yeah.
But at the time, it was not great, and that was a pretty big failure.
Now, was it just because of the people, or what made that a failure?
So most times in companies, it usually is the people.
Yeah.
Once you get a toxic environment, or you get something, once a company starts making money, I always say you have to treat it like a business, not a friendship. If you go into business with friends, that's the fastest way to lose your friends.
Yeah.
You have to protect that like it's a baby, and it has to be all written out. You have to, I mean, there can be nothing left on the table that's ambiguous. You have to know exactly what you guys, what your org charts are, what your responsibilities are, because you start to, people get upset, or they resentful, or then when money gets involved, hey, I work harder than you, I deserve more, kind of thing, right? And that's when it gets a little ugly.
Yeah, that can cause a lot of conflict, I bet.
Yeah.
You see it, I would say it's probably 70% of the time.
Yeah.
Wow.
I believe it.
Yep, and then greed. Let's be honest. Greed ruins a lot of things. So
Yeah.
the hair salon too was a big one. I lost 6 figures on that one. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Six figures.
We went into long-term leases, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
And when we had some stuff happen, and then COVID and stuff like that, unfortunately, things you can't control.
Yeah.
And but here's the way I look at it. I didn't. They're not failures to me. I hate that word, because you have to fail in life to succeed. I have to. It's a learning experience for me. So I took everything I learned from it and became that much better on my next adventure.
Yeah.
I tell my kids, fail as much as you can.
Nice.
Because I know you're out there trying. The only failure I say is when you don't try something.
Yeah.
When fear takes over, or you sit there and you sit and think, and then that opportunity passes you by. That scares me and keeps me up at night. When people don't take risks or opportunities, we get one shot at life, one. So it's important that if you see an opportunity, you see things like that, take it, because there is no failure. You know that a baseball player strikes out 80% of the time, or pops up or goes out. If you got a 200, 250, 260 at batting average, you're a good baseball player.
Yeah.
Very few people hit the 300s, but that still means you're getting out 7 out of 10 times.
Yeah.
So you have to miss to get to that home run.
You have to, because it helps you learn as well.
That's it. Yeah, it's
I
learning.
think that's the biggest thing.
You're right.
Yeah. I was just thinking, I don't know, my head just went to, look at weather reporters.
There we go. I want that job.
Imagine a career where you can be wrong 90% of the time and you keep your job. Just
Right.
Yep.
When did you always kind of have that inside of you, or did you learn that lesson somewhere along the way where you're like, hey, these aren't failures, these are just attempts?
So my grandfather kind of instilled that in me. My grandfather was, to me, the greatest guy ever. And I think we all have that person in our life, right? Whether it be grandma, mom, dad, somebody, you have a mentor that he just happened to be this guy that always saw the glass, half full. No matter what, through failures that people use that word or anything else, he's like, hey, there's an opportunity here, opportunity to learn, opportunity for something. So I learned that really it was instilled from a very young man, young man. So, and that's the thing too, is there are a lot of teachable moments in life.
Yeah.
We have to recognize when they are, so we can be part of that with our children, our friends, and people around us.
Let me ask you a weird question. Let's go back in time for a second.
There you go.
Completely hypothetical. If you didn't have your grandpa to teach you those lessons, do you believe that you are the type of person or personality that would have learned them somewhere along the way anyway and succeeded? Or do you think that people that don't have that opportunity are just kind of...
SOL.
Yeah, great.
So I would like to believe that I would have at some point. I do, but I will say that mentorship and your surroundings help shape you. I wish that wasn't the case, because there's a lot of kids and young people out there that don't have that. They, unfortunately, and I want the best for them. That's a good question. I got to be honest. I would like to believe that I would have. I always look at it. I say it's a puppy theory for kids, right? It's really unique. I've got a bunch of siblings. I've got 5 of us. We all have different personalities. Some of us are OCD, ADD, this, that. We're all different. So it's you never know what you're going to get You know, you could have a little puppy that's never been spanked in his life, but he's cowards and scared his whole life. And then you get another puppy that's just rambunctious and he'll barrel right into anything and he's not afraid of anything, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of like us as humans. So I got to believe it was in me. So I had that ability, but it was nurtured by the people around me. So, and one last lesson, and I've told you this before, it's so important to pick the 6 to 8 people that are close to you in your life because you become the sum of those people.
Yes.
If you hang around less than good people, you're going to become less than good yourself. So you want to put people around you that you want to aspire to, that people that have, good culture around them, good hearts, good, good ambiance, good energy, things like that, because that'll help you become that.
You know what's crazy about that too, and you've probably experienced this too. The what everybody else would look like. I'm just going to say successful because I think everybody can relate to that. But you look at somebody, multiple businesses. Again, it's interesting because I do want to point out that a lot of people look, especially with who our president's coming up, and you hear, yeah, but he failed these 2 businesses. Yeah, he had 100 successful ones though.
Exactly.
Right? And it's interesting because they don't understand that even in investing, you're not winning the entire time. You're just trying to win some of the time.
You're right.
And make sure that those some of the time. So the fact that you had the ability to lose 6 figures in a hair place and still have amazing hair is,
I know, right? It is crazy. It's crazy. It's a wig though. It snaps on.
That's it.
Yeah, I'll give you my website. And, $29.99 and third wig's free.
On sale, limited time.
Black Friday sale. You heard it here.
Black Friday extended.
Yeah. Type in promo code Open House for your free. If anybody out there does have a wig shop that would like to sponsor hair, we'll do that. But so the thing that I have found interesting in my life, because I'm always willing to learn, is I've always been able to find that the people that other people would say, they don't have enough time to talk to me, or they wouldn't answer a question. Somebody just to go out and have coffee with you, right? But it seems like people like you are always willing, if somebody asks, to sit down, have a cup of coffee, share a piece of advice. And I found that throughout my entire life. And I'm like I said, I'm sure that you've seen the same thing. Like, successful people want other people to come around, and it's almost like you've got something to share and you want everybody to feel this way.
Yep. So I thrive. My energy comes from people. So that is my superpower. I'm a connector. I love people. I love being around people. I like helping people, inspiring them, doing something, where I feel my best is when I'm giving. I'm not a very good receiver. Like like if someone tries to help or this like that, I don't know how to take it.
You're
It's
like, this
weird.
is unnatural.
Yeah. It's like even for Christmas, I'm a big giver. I give gifts and all this stuff. Like I don't know what it is. Again, I think that comes very much from my grandfather. It's very similar, very same guy. Like you could call him up at any time and the guy's right there to help you for anything, for any questions, no questions asked.
Yeah. Everyone needs someone like that in their life.
Yeah, so
To teach you
that
and
just kind of like,
mentor you.
yeah, you're right. It just that's what gets me. That's what
That's really cool. That's awesome that you had that.
So I
And you are that now. And I think the point that I want to make is, sometimes we normal folk
Us normal folk.
get
goodness.
like, you kind of like get, I not say not starstruck. I don't know what the correct word is, but you see somebody, you go, they're probably too important to take time to say hi or answer a question. And then we just let them walk on by. Whereas it seems like a lot of people, they'll give if you ask. And that's the other thing, they always say that if you're hungry enough student, the teacher will appear.
Yep.
And I think that it's just one of those things where, like, going back to what you said, if you're not in one of those groups right now, you can A, create it, and B, you can seek those mentors out. And people are so super willing to open themselves up.
Yeah.
Yep.
From what I have found.
Yeah.
I agree with you. Go ahead.
Honestly, I think what I always say and I live by, so when you are nervous to like approach someone like that who you do look up to and you don't know, like they don't want to talk to me, you feel that way. You just gotta, be courageous and you just gotta like take that leap and fake it till you make it. That's what I always do. You don't know what to say to someone, just walk up and just see what happens. Hi, I'm Summar. And
Wait,
then,
you're a person that is afraid to go walk up to other people?
No, I'm just saying,
Yeah,
like,
I was
I
gonna
can
say,
relate. I can relate in other aspects, Like, if you don't know what the heck you're doing, just do it. I mean, eventually you'll learn and you'll catch on. But yeah, fake it till you make it. I love that one.
I was gonna say, I've never seen you afraid to be there.
I'm not afraid to talk to people, but there are, I can be shy.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Can you?
Of course.
All right.
You can't. Can you?
I don't
No.
think I can.
I don't think you can.
I don't think I can. I don't even know what that would look
I'm
like.
wondering now what
So-
it would look like.
So when you walk in a room, it's like a bomb of energy goes off. Boom! And
Yeah.
it's like, holy God,
Yeah.
Johnny Awesome's here.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
awesome.
You know, I used to get in trouble for that too, which is funny because now it's the thing that everybody. It's so weird how life works. I'll never forget being in school, just like. Well, I guess it wasn't. It's verbal flatulence. But, you know, I just remember being in school, and I remember getting kicked out for being me. You know, like. Just too boisterous and this, that, and the other thing. I've heard my entire life. You're too boisterous and there's just too much, right?
You're too awesome.
Yeah, yeah. But then later on in life, you find out like, well, that's all of a sudden a skill and a quality and what people look for, and then you find those like places or places where you can go and uplift the energy.
Yeah.
How do you if you ever walked into those rooms? Well, it sounds like you've had the business partners like this where like. You walk in and already the energy's completely sucked out of there.
Of course.
How
Absolutely.
do you bring that energy back up? Or do you just leave the room?
No. So first of all, yeah, that's probably the
You
best
hook
answer,
them up
right?
to
Just leave
IV
it,
drips
Yep,
and
exactly.
that's
Yeah, we go right to NAD, before
Yeah,
we talk,
yeah.
And energy drinks. But,
Yeah.
Like everybody, here you go.
yeah. So the thing is that just like you, I could be having one of those quiet days, or maybe, but when I'm around you for 3 minutes, I'm already up 3 notches.
Yeah.
Just because of your energy and that. So I try to set the tone. So if you go in there, it's low energy, people are not responding. I try
Yeah.
to set the tone, bring them back up a little bit. People have a gift to do that. You are one of them. It truly is. You can set a tone in a room, no matter how low it is. Within 5 minutes, that room's changed completely, and that's a gift. I don't know
it's
if
a
that's
natural
teachable.
skill for him.
Yeah, I don't
It's
know.
that ADD power.
That is, it is, but it is a superpower.
It is a superpower. Yeah, absolutely.
Not everybody has that.
Yeah, because I
So-
don't think he sits down and thinks about it before he does it. He doesn't have like
Also
a
why I-
plan laid out.
That's also why I ended up in the hallway a lot of times. I heard that. I gotta tell you how many times I've heard
You
that
need
in
to think
life.
about your actions.
You need to think before you do.
Yeah,
Like, I
exactly.
don't know how to do that, Yoda.
Like I haven't mastered that yet.
Like, what does that
Working
even
on
mean? I don't
But
understand.
that has become,
Do
like he
before you
said,
think,
your
do you?
greatest.
Yeah.
Your greatest superpower, which is pretty cool.
It can be. Well, you know, it's kind of like you. This is another reference. You ever seen Monk? I feel like every episode.
Actually,
I'm throwing,
I think I have actually.
The first thing that we ever recorded, she found out that she didn't know what Seinfeld was. Yeah,
Really?
yeah. She thought it was a
No
cartoon.
offense. Yeah, I did.
Yeah. So every episode, I think we're finding out like.
Jerry, we're sorry.
Well, it was. I think when the whole thing came up
I
because she went
educated myself
hello,
since then.
and I was like, oh, Seinfeld. And she's like, what's that? Is that a taxi? Like what's happening? But it's like every episode.
So I grew up on Seinfeld and Friends.
Did you?
Yeah,
I
so I was in my
got you.
20s when that was there, but I loved it. It was like it was the first like serious sitcoms or shows that I looked forward to watching every single
Yeah.
night
Yeah.
when they came on.
I said I wasn't allowed to watch Friends.
No.
I don't know if I was even allowed to watch Seinfeld because, well, I was a little kid at that point in time.
Okay. That's
And
right.
it
I'm
was
the old man in the room.
especially Friends was a risky show. Like Married with Children, I wasn't allowed to watch.
Yeah.
And I think that's okay now. I think I turned out all right with
Boy, has the envelope has it really been pushed since then? If that was risky, wow.
yeah.
Shoot,
Yeah.
I was watching Dune: The Prophecy. It's just a series, right? And my wife, this happens all the time. It's the worst thing ever. I don't know what it is, but every time there's a risky scene on, my wife walks in the room. And she'll look like, "What are you watching?" I'm like, "I swear to God, this was not." This, and I'm trying to like fast forward. It's on live TV. I'm like, "Oh my
Then
God!"
it starts
just
going in
sitting
slow
there.
motion instead. You're like,
I'm like,
oh,
there's no way you have this innate ability to come in every time. And she looks at me like I've got this problem. I'm like, no, I'm just watching TV.
Like it's not what it looks like.
I know.
That's
well,
funny.
it is exactly what it looks
It
like.
is.
Yeah. You just keep walking in at the wrong time.
Yeah, so Friends would have been
It's just like,
fine.
I told you I was having book club tonight, and then our friends start walking in.
Worst situation
No.
ever.
and there's 50 Shades of Jay on.
Yeah. Oh man, that's funny. They it's interesting though because it's weird where it's weird where TV has taken some things, but then taken other things and kind of taken it completely out. And not to go down that rabbit hole, but it's interesting. It's interesting where media going, and media is an important thing too. And I tell people this all the time. what you put in is what you get out.
That's exactly
So
right.
when we're talking about finding your core and hanging out with those people too, if all you're doing is sitting down and putting a bunch of negative in, or you're listening to negative things, you're going to get negative out too. So, you can replace that stuff easily with positive podcasts.
You got
know,
it. I mean, where else are you going to learn about regenerative medicine and aliens all in the same
With
one, right?
flatulence.
Honestly, yeah, coolest
And
podcast
flatulence.
ever.
Yeah, I think that'll be the title of the show today. Alien regenerative flatulence will be the
There you go. You heard it first here.
There it is.
breaking news. I want to ask you one more question, and then I want to do an arm wrestling contest with you.
You got it.
Just because of the testosterone thing, I just think it'd be fun. I just want to see.
You think
You
because
got
he
it.
has more testosterone?
Yeah, I'm wondering.
He's gonna,
well, how do you know he has more testosterone?
I don't know. I'm guessing because the regenerative.
Well, I'm wearing it's my
whole-
cologne that I'm wearing. Sex
Is it-
Panther.
that's what it is?
There it is.
It's because of the cologne. Yeah.
Gotcha.
It's got real pieces of panther in it. That's how
Yeah.
you know it's real.
I'm sorry, I
I
made that
gotcha.
assumption. That was horrible.
Yeah, I'm wearing McRib, so that's which is back. I'm happy about it. So, yeah,
The make-
yeah. That's the scent that you smell. Which
I thought it was sweat and shame for him.
We went from talking you up so good. It's
yeah,
like I
I'm
take back
wearing
all my
McRib.
thank yous.
I'm wearing McRib. Yep. That's the thing. So, what if you were? We had talked a little bit about you, being having your grandfather in your life, and when you were really young. I'm going to ask you. Actually, this will be a two-part question. Number one, if you were going back to being a kid, and you as an adult walked into that kid's life, would you look up to and respect who you are now?
Oh yeah, for sure.
And now, with being answered and who you are now,
That's an honest question. I pride myself on who I've become as a person. And look, we all have flaws. There's no question about it. But I've been blessed to be around really good people, and I believe that in my heart of hearts that I'm one of the best versions of myself.
which is great.
That is
What
great.
I love about that is that you're not trying to compare to anybody else. It's
Nope.
what Simon Sinek says, and
Nobody.
Start With Why. Just be the best you can be.
Agreed.
Right? So now I want to take it in a different angle then. So now if you were then to go back, what advice would you give yourself, or would you not, because of where you've come in life, give yourself any advice so you could get where you're at?
So I have that answer dialed up already
Oh.
because so I will say this, and it's something that I still have to learn today, but I would love to tell my younger self this, is I've become a people pleaser. And there's a powerful word in the English dictionary that helps alleviate a lot of stress, and that word is no.
Yeah.
I've become such a yes man for so long because of the industries I'm in. It requires a yes, right? Because they don't want to hear a no. But there are times in life where it's okay to say no, and you have to learn to do that. And I'll be 100% honest. If there was a flaw that I would say, that's probably my flaw. I want to please everybody. I want to make sure that everybody's, happy and healthy, and But so I sometimes overextend because I can't help everyone in the world.
Yeah.
But I say yes to so many things
Yeah.
that sometimes I put myself in a bind. Now I usually will it to happen, but that's the one thing I would tell my younger self is that it is okay to say no.
It's funny that you brought that up. We had lunch the other day at a restaurant.
Yeah.
Did I tell you about going through my old notebook? Did we have this conversation, or that was just natural that
No,
thing?
I don't believe that. We might have, but and I apologize if we did.
No, I didn't know if that just was there because it's perfect. Literally, I was just reading through my old notebook while we were out at lunch, and I came across this one quote, and I love this quote. It said, "No is a complete sentence."
It is. It is.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yep. And the thing is too is you look at it as you're disappointing somebody, but you trust
do.
me.
That goes back to you being like a
Yep.
people pleaser. Yeah.
But it truly isn't. It's just being direct and honest, and that's what they deserve as well, right? So because you're not doing yourself or them any good if you're just saying something to appease them, but you don't either A, have the ability to follow through, or B, it's going to put you in a tough
yeah,
spot.
I can relate to that one. I feel like that's something I struggle with too. I'm very self-aware of that. But yeah.
Yeah, that would be a big one. That would be the one that I would definitely sit down and have a talk with me about.
Awesome. I love it.
Well, you just did.
I did. Right?
There you go.
Would you look
Now
at
all you
that?
gotta
I'm
do,
regressing.
Wow, that regenerative stuff really works. He's now 6.
Yep. Oh God. Oh no.
man.
No, I don't want to be anymore.
let me
All
catch
my
up on
feelings
these
have changed.
real quick. I apologize. I know it's been a second. What is it that I'm supposed to be tossing out? And I will toss that out before the show is over. Correct. Thank you again. Sandra says an amazing episode. And correct,
Thank you,
Jason.
Sandra.
Jason Courtney bringing so much wisdom. Phenomenal first guest, which I agree. An episode. Huge congrats. Thank you for sticking along with us. And I do want to say, of course, we are going to have links in the show notes to all the different things that they talked about. So make sure, right now, we are almost everywhere you can get podcasts. For sure, we're on Spotify. We're waiting for our stuff to come back from Apple is the big one, which should hopefully hit this week. But as you guys follow our journey, we appreciate you guys doing that. Make sure you're following us, liking us there, and that's where we'll put all the show notes. And then last but not least, this is the part of the thing about doing the live. When you guys tune in live, you're going to see some magic editing happening. So this is the fun part. So every week, one of the things that we're going to do to end the episode is we are going to ask you, the audience, to come up with a music genre, and we are going to have AI create a song based on this episode. And then when the episode goes live every Tuesday on podcast platforms, the last thing that people will hear is a song that was generated by AI based on this episode in whatever genre you guys pick.
Yeah, pick a genre. The AI is spectacular.
Yes.
The AI music, it is out of this world.
This part's going to be cut out of the regular podcast. For those of you that are watching right now and have been listening to this episode, throw in any genre that you think. We will pick one of those genres at random, and we're going to have AI create a song based on this episode. And that's what people will be listening to when we wrap this episode up.
Yep,
So,
comment your
Isn't that
favorite
crazy?
genre.
AI is amazing.
It's so
I use
cool.
it for everything.
Yeah.
So, all right, you ready?
Yeah.
All right, so that being said,
Oh, hey, real quick. I just
Yeah,
want to say,
no, go
am I
ahead.
allowed? So
You're allowed to do whatever you
someone
want.
said, what should I throw out?
Yeah, I don't
I-
know. I don't know what she's saying, but
No. So we were talking about chemicals and all the stuff in food and all the bad stuff.
Yeah,
so I
yeah.
don't know if you're referring to that. May I mention an app that's really
Of course
good?
you can.
So there's an app for everybody to look up, and it's free, I believe. I do believe that you can pay for a subscription. It's not much but it's called Yuka, Yuka. It's an app, and what you do, there's a barcode scanner on it, and what it does, you scan the food, and it gives you the entire breakdown of all the chemicals, everything in it, what you should eat, and it rates the food.
Really?
So it'll rate your energy drinks, and then what it does is it gives you.
oh, it's filming. Do you have your phone on you?
Yeah.
So it-
Yuka?
yeah,
Y-U-K-A?
So what's
Do you have it on you?
Yep, I do.
Oh, do it right now. I want to see what this is. Let's
so
do
what's
this right now.
really, really cool though is it's got a carrot on it, so it's like a healthy little. You open it up, and what
Yeah.
it does is it's going to give me my history first of all the things that I kind of checked out. And
Kefir is great, by the way. I love kefir.
It is. It is.
Except for now, you're going to ruin my day, aren't you?
Yep. So there's nothing wrong with kefir. There's sometimes they'll put in like
it has the
sugar or calories.
additives?
The additives, but it's got. So I'll show you real quick, and then
Yeah.
we'll get you back to the arm
Yeah,
wrestling
yeah. I
here,
want
'cause
you.
know
Can
you're.
you scan this? I want to see right now. I want to see how this works. Scan this monster.
Okay, you got it. So we'll scan
But
the
there's
monster.
no sugar in it, so it's got to be healthy, right?
So, yeah. So here, I'm going to scan this. You're going to hit scan here.
Yeah.
And it just opens up. So it's poor. It's 39 out of 100.
Okay, it's
You
not
click
bad.
it.
It's not
There's
too.
6 additives, and what they do is they're going to show you high risk additives in there. Now you're going to go to
Wow.
more information. This is going to show you it's got sodium benzenite, and it's going to tell you the additive is a preservative that could toxic, hepatotoxic, neurotoxic, and immune. So what it does is it gets into your system.
Yeah.
But combined with the ascorbic acid, it might form benzene, a carcinogen compound, and it triggers certain reactions as far as asthma, skin reactions, gastrointestinal disease, and then the nervous system it affects as well. So
Wow.
that's one. That's one of the
And it does it
additives.
just
Does it tell you how many additives
you-
are in there?
Yeah, it does.
Does it
gives
tell you like the
s-
most like important ones or like most
Yep, these are, it gives
like
you
the top?
Yep, it tells you every additive, and then it tells you what sucralose does, which is a sugar substitute, right? And what it
Holy
can do for the
cow.
body.
Look at
So-
that.
That's really interesting.
But what's cool though is it doesn't just tell you what's in the food; it gives you alternatives. So it'll say,
cool.
"Hey, this has got a rating here." you might want to look at these over here. And
Yeah.
then that way you can say, okay, so now when you shop, you can make
Yeah.
better decisions.
Look at that. Urban Mate Berry Lemonade. I've never, interesting. What a great app.
It really is. So and then before you know it, you create a habit. And now when you
Yeah.
start to shop, you're starting to get healthier things for your kids, for yourself. And a lot of these, so you know what's crazy is there's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of chemicals that are illegal in Europe and even Mexico that
Yeah.
are still allowed here. It is insane. The stuff that's being put in our foods is just literally incredible
Wow.
in a bad way.
I love that. That's awesome. Well, we're keeping that clip in. I love
There we
that.
go. There we go.
The fact that it gave me an alternative, I wonder how well that would work. I wonder how well that would work.
If I
Just
put a
imagine-
vodka Red Bull in there, what do you think the alternative would be?
Just imagine
Soda.
if you could QR code the
Exercise.
person and see, oh, narcissistic.
I
You
love
might,
it.
you might want this.
I think we're getting there. I think we're going to get to the part where AI can look at a person and be like, can you imagine? You know what? We have our next company. Imagine having a Facebook-style company where we attach our company to everybody's social media, and through there we use AI to depict the type of person they are.
That
and
would
then
be-
through Meta glasses, when you're walking up and looking at somebody, they're like, here's a person that will influence you positively.
I love it.
Here's a person you should stay away from.
Yeah, it'd be so cool. I could see it because they just released
We could-
those new Ray-Bans with the.
Yes!
Just wait till they're like.
Guys,
yeah, I know.
guys,
It's just
there
We
we
could
go.
we could call it the negative nanny.
There-
And it's there to keep
I like
all,
it.
Yeah, there it is.
There it is.
Okay,
Nobody
so
steal this idea.
This is copyrighted.
yeah.
Copyright.
This is nobody steal that.
Under the open door.
NDA, just blanket NDA for everything that was said.
Yep, there we go. Blink.
That's fun. Well, it is time for us to.
We're gonna shut the door. We're gonna first hit the lights, and then we're gonna make sure nobody's in here, and then we're gonna hit the door and end the podcast
That's
and end
it.
our open house.
Before we do that, though, yeah, let's do this. I want to. Do you have guns on you?
In the car.
All right, let's do this. Who do you guys think's gonna win? You can bet on this right now. No, you can't bet on. I wish you would. Have you ready?
Dude, Johnny.
All right, comment
It's
the
gotta be
name.
Johnny.
You have
I'm
to
betting-
comment
I'm betting
who's
on
gonna
Johnny.
win.
I don't know. I'm
betting on
I'm not
Johnny.
very. Here, we'll move this mic.
I've got dainty wrists.
I'll watch. I'll make sure nobody's.
Here, I don't. Ooh, we just moved the table just doing this. Let me turn this up and. I broke the mic just trying to do it. Here, I'll turn this up and this up. All right, let's give this a shot. You ready?
All right,
You got
guys.
it, my man.
All
Oh,
right.
gosh.
Let's do it.
Oh, dude, this dude's strong.
I can-
No.
He's not resisting even yet.
I'm scared for you.
I'm scared for this
I'm
table.
really afraid.
Are ya? All right, ready?
Yep, go.
Oh, come
he's-
on, Johnny. Come on, Johnny. Come on.
Oh, look at.
Oh, I got
It's
it.
all that.
Look
You
at
It's
that.
all that good food he's eating.
Oh, I gotta lay off the McRibs.
Yeah,
Oh,
it rejuvenated.
No, you
Hell.
got. Hey, when the McRib comes back, you got to
it's back. It's back.
When it's back, you have to act.
It is. Yeah.
When it's back, you need to act.
Oh,
that
man.
was awesome. Good job. You won.
We got right in time for the camera. Hey, guys, thank you very much for joining us. We appreciate you for our first ever episode. Thank you for joining us live.
Thank you.
We appreciate it. Make sure that you check us out again where you can get podcasts right now. Spotify. We're on Podcast Index, so I know that that's in a bunch of different places. Check our channels out at Open House FM.
We are constantly posting links on social media. So,
Instagram, Facebook.
yeah.
Yeah. And we'll talk to you guys soon.
Thanks for having me.
Hey, thanks
Thank
for being here.
you.
We are ending the broadcast.
Yay.
Ba-dum-ba-dum.